YouTube, guess who? It is your boy Chance bringing you a brand new video here today on the channel, and today we are in Call of Duty Modern Warfare's private match, and I'm going to be showing you my competitive search and destroy classes. And for the people that are confused, I've played competitive Call of Duty pretty much since I've owned a console. My very first competitive Call of Duty is Modern Warfare 2. I've been on competitive SnD ladders on game battles for years, and I've been on the top page. I've battled for the crowns. I've played against the best pro players in the world, and I've also played against the worst players in the world. I have a very good idea of how to play Call of Duty Search and Destroy, and I have a lot of experience. I'm not professional. I've never tried to go to a LAN event. I've never tried to put all of my time and focus directly into Call of Duty. I've always had other things going on. And I got to a point to where I realized everyone was getting so far ahead that I just wanted to relax. I wanted to just play Search and Destroy GBs and no longer pursue the competitive lifestyle. I've been back and forth. I've tried to do it a few times, like tried to get it started, but I never like full on committed. And I probably never will. I'm 24, about to be 25, and streaming's doing really well. But people ask me all the time, like, how do I get into Call of Duty? How do I get into GBs? What is GBs? What do you use in your game battles? There's a lot of rules. I'm confused. Yada, yada, yada. That's what today's video is about. So we're going to break it down. I'm going to do this kind of quickly. I didn't really want to make a full-on video today. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm being a little lazy today. I got a lot going on this week. I'm dog sitting for my mom. My mom actually, not to sound too sappy or anything, is going through some stuff. She actually found out recently she has cancer, and then right after that she broke her leg trying to walk or bring my dog back inside from taking him outside. It's a long story. She tripped, she broke her leg, so a lot going on there. Been helping her out, and they asked me to watch the dog this weekend, so I'm going to. So I didn't want to make a full video, but we're gonna get into this. We're gonna talk about these guns, why I use it, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. And hopefully you guys like my class setups. Now, as of today, recording this video, everything that I use on these weapons are allowed. I'm going to allow the kill streak situation be situational on what you want to use, because there's a lot of them are banned, and the pros have kill streaks GA'd, which means they don't use them, and they use specialists. But if you look at the GB rule set, at least the last time I checked, specialist is banned. So it's like a really weird thing between the pros and the website that's not like come together yet, but eventually it will. So I'm gonna leave that completely up to you guys. We're just gonna talk about loadouts and field upgrades. So very first thing, I have 3 classes that I use in competitive GB Search and Destroy. These 2 down here, I mess with them all the time, even mid-game, and I put on weird things just depending on how good or bad the players are, and I just kind of have fun, you know, with these 2 classes. But these are the main ideal situational classes I use in competitive Search and Destroy only. First things first, my offensive class. For offense, 9 times out of 10, I am the bomb objective player. I am an SMG player. You do not see me use an AR too much on offense unless my teammate specifically asks me to pull out an assault rifle so that they can carry the bomb or so that I can watch over them. So this is the class I use typically on offense for Search and Destroy. It is an MP5. The MP5 is my favorite submachine gun in the game, and I do think it's the most consistent submachine gun in the game for players like me who are really good close quarters but not too good at a distance, and also don't have the best internet connection. I feel like this gun just has good damage and focuses as like an overall weapon, an all-around SMG. And I feel like it's just good for my style of play and my situation. So I'm not very good with the MP7. I see a lot of people that I know as online warriors shred with this thing. But if you look at it compared to the MP5, it's got less accuracy, less damage, less range, less control, but it's got better mobility and better fire rate. So it's like, I don't know. They're both good, but the MP5 is my gun. That's what I use. When I'm running on my MP5, I might not agree with everyone, but I've typically like watched professional SMG players and kind of just got an idea of what they're using, and I kind of just put my own spin, and I'm using what like works best for me and my style of play. I'm pretty fast with the submachine gun. I'm pretty run and gun. My range isn't the best, so I try to focus on things that are going to help me in the close range fight, because I'm going to find myself more into the close range fight. So for the barrel, I'm using the FFS Light barrel. This adds a pro of aiming down my sights quicker and a con of bullet velocity, which is the bullet speed, and I believe the bullet drop off, which doesn't really matter with an SMG. If you look at the stats, with this loadout, my accuracy, damage, and mobility increases. My fire rate and control decreases. It's not that big of a deal, to be honest. The fire rate is the bullet velocity. It still feels really good to use this gun. And with the added mobility and the added damage, you tend to kill him just as quickly if you weren't using this, or whether you're using this or not. So, yeah, you lose a little bit of bullet velocity, but you have added damage. So, I really enjoy this gun. Next up, we're going to go straight to stock. And we're going to use the FTAC Collapsible. This is the ultimate running gun modification when agility is more important than precision. Collapsing the stock greatly increases movement. You guys can see I've added on to that movement speed. I've added on to that ADS speed. This makes it more competitive with the MP7 players. We've taken away our stability. But aiming stability is only important if you're holding down your aim down sights for a long period of time, which with an SMG, you don't. There's not too many times where you're like on a heady, just post it up. And if you are, there's a mounting feature in the game. There's proning in the game. There's ways to make your gun stable if that's something that bothers you. And I don't think it's a necessity. Recoil control, I'm pretty good with recoil control. I think it's just overall muscle memory from just playing a lot of shooters over the years. So it doesn't bother me that it's knocked down a little bit. But some people don't like that. It's all personal preference. A lot of people also use the close quarter stock to kind of help with control. I like that stock too, don't get me wrong. But this is the stock I use. Going down to underbarrel, we use the Commando foregrip. This grip is kind of heavier, so it's going to slow down your movement just a little bit, but it's going to give you that stability that you're missing and that recoil stabilization. So you know how earlier we messed up our stability and recoil stabilization? Well, this grip's going to help counter that. So we're balancing our weapon out a little more. If you take a look at the loadout and what's changed, control goes down just a little bit, fire rate goes down, but mobility, damage, accuracy still increased overall based on the loadout we're using and the attachments we have on it. So overall, fun gun to use. This grip I feel is the best. If you're going to try anything else, I would try the operator foregrip or the tactical foregrip. So I use the Commando though. I think it's really good. Next up, ammunition. We rock the 10 millimeter auto 30 round mags. Adds damage and adds range, takes away a little bit of fire rate, and it takes away a little bit of that recoil control, but I've talked about it. Recoil isn't everything. Damage and range, that's good for a sub. You need that added incentive. Especially whenever you do occasionally find yourself in the long range fights. I think the 10 millimeter rounds add an advantage towards you with this sub. Rear grip. We're going to run the stippled grip tape. It's going to add that ADS speed and sprint to fire speed, which is important with an SMG running close range, being in their face. And it's going to take away that aiming stability. Not really important. Overall, love this gun. Favorite gun in the game. Going down to perks. Typically, this is the OBJ class, so battle hardened EOD is like a no-brainer. EOD protects you from like grenades. Battle hardened protects you from stuns. Perk 2, everything's pretty much banned besides Point Man and Ghosts. The pros do not use score streaks. They GA them. So they all pretty much use Ghost, even though it basically doesn't do anything because score streaks aren't allowed. And all of these equipments are banned. So it's just like, it's kind of pointless to use, but people use it. In GBs, Point Man isn't banned. There's not a lot of GAs going on. I use Point Man. It does something. Turns your kill streaks into score streaks. Better than nothing, right? Lethal. I like the frag grenade in this game. I feel like it's really easy to control. And I have a bug where, and I don't know if it's fixed yet, but the Semtex, if you have a Semtex on and you try to use your field upgrade by pushing L1, R1, if you don't if you're not right on the money with your press, for some reason, it will just throw your Semtex. And I've used it early round and killed my teammates multiple times because I threw a Semtex basically right at their feet, trying to use my freaking dead silence to get an early rush, which sucks. And they roast you and give you shit for it. Don't do it. I like the frag grenade. Next up, we're going to talk about my defensive class. I'm a beast with the M4A1. Now, I'm going to talk about a couple different ways to run this loadout. But before I get into the gun, I'm just going to give you, like, frag grenades still a thing, smoke grenades a thing. Having multiple smokes on the map is really clutch. And I think, like, other than the smoke, the only other thing you could run is a stun grenade. So it's really personal preference. I'm running battle hardened most of the time. So I feel like other players will too. So stuns, I feel like, aren't as viable as smokes are. So smoke frag, pretty good loadout. Perks, I tend to switch it up. Just depends on how nade heavy the team is, or if they're using thermals. I kind of got to get a feel for the team first. And since you can change your guns within the game, I start out with quick fix. Killing players, capturing objectives, holding objectives will increase your health regeneration rate. So, like, if you get shot and you win a gunfight, you're going to heal faster. If you get shot while capturing an objective and you kill them, you know, you're going to heal faster. It's just like regeneration in this game is a thing. And I feel like having quick fix helps out a lot. Next up, we have point man again. I've talked about it. Everything else is banned besides ghosts. So I run point man. Tune up. Tune up reduces the charge time of field upgrades by 33%. I'm pretty much getting a dead silence every single round as long as I pick up one or two kills, and get the objective down. Or one or two kills and defending an objective. I usually am getting it almost every single round. It's super clutch, and I really like tune up, and I like using it for defense, because if I can get a bomb defuse, or like if I could stop them from planting, or if I can just get a couple kills camping, waiting for them to try to plant, this is a good loadout. So for the M4, you can put so many different things on this gun and be nasty, because this is the best AR in my opinion. Right now I'm running the Predator, and the reason why I run the Predator is because it adds that damage and mobility, but a lot of players are using M16 Grenader, so I would suggest Predator or Grenader 1000%. I guess it just depends if you're playing respawn or search and destroy, and it depends if you're more into damage or if you're more into ADS. So up to you. If I'm playing search and destroy, probably better to run the Grenader, but I like ADS, so up to you. Completely in the air. Sights, I use the GI mini reflex. It just takes up less of the screen. It's a good sight. Stock, I see a lot of people running no stock or SynGuard, but I run Forge Tack because ADS is quick. You'll notice a theme. I like to aim down quickly. Like, if I get caught running, I want to be able to lift up that gun and start shooting. I want to be ready for any fight that comes my way. So you're going to see that a lot with all my guns. Underbarrel, commando foregrip, aiming stability, recoil stabilization, minus a little bit of movement speed, works for me. Stippled grip tape, aim down sights, sprint to fire speed, and this is really like what you would use on a submachine gun. A lot of people use like the rubberized grip just for recoil control, but I just think like being able to aim down my sights quickly and to, you know, get out of my sprint and be able to fight is super important in search and destroy. First bloods are a big deal when you're rushing up mid-map. If somebody catches you off guard, you got to be ready to shoot back. And you can see with my loadout, the only thing that's really hurt is kind of range on this weapon. But it's the M4, it's an AR. Range isn't a big deal. You can also switch it to single fire if you're worried about range. And as long as you got a good trigger finger, it's very good. I love this gun. I think it's very, very good. I think the loadout I use is excellent. And the only thing I would change from time to time, like if I'm getting fried with this loadout, I'll put on Grenader and everything will be fine. That's the only thing I would change. That's it. And you can see like the differences just by looking at the two. So, I mean, it's personal preference, honestly. You can even rock Commando if you want, but this is what I use. Get one good look at it. This is what I use. All right. Already talked about the perks and all that. Last class I'm going to go over is the snipe class. A lot of people want to know what's used on a sniper because I guess I can't really figure it out. I use the 32-inch factory barrel, the tack laser, the SynGuard arms assassin stock, presence of mind, and the stipple grip tape. And as you can see, it adds damage, bullet velocity, recoil, minus a little bit of that ADS speed, minus a little bit of that movement, but you're not getting as many hit markers. Now the laser adds ADS, adds aim stability, adds aim walking steadiness, but people could see the laser. Sin guard, aim down sight's good, aim stability bad. Presence of mind, I can hold my breath longer. The only thing I'd switch this out for is maybe focus or FMJ. So it's up to you. Focus, FMJ, presence of mind. I kind of swap between, like, just depending on what I plan on using the sniper for. Rear grip, I use the stipple grip tape for everything because it's ADS speed and rate to fire speed. So, or sprint to fire speed. So overall, as you guys can see, gun's great. Not too much is adjusted from it. Pistol sidearm, everyone's gonna have their opinion. I use the M19. It's the quickest fire rate. I use a compensator for the muzzle. Which is just recoil control. I use a lightweight barrel to aim down sights quicker. I use a laser for hip accuracy. I use trigger action for fire rate. And I use stipple grip tape for aim down sight speed. So I want a gun that I can aim down quickly and shoot quickly and not really have to worry about recoil. This is probably the best pistol to use for my playstyle. Perks, I use cold-blooded, point man, battle hardened. Cold-blooded is one we haven't seen yet in the video. Just basically undetected by thermals for competitive search and destroy. I don't see a lot of thermals, but it's nice to have. And if I need to switch it out, I'll put on double time so I can get a quick sprint, so I can get like peak spots down mid or get in a building quickly to post up. So it just depends on the team. I do switch it up. And for this class, I'm running a frag and a stun because smokes get in the way of snipers, even if you have a thermal. So smokes are just not a good idea for sniping, in my personal opinion, unless you're going to rush up with your pistol. So it's all personal preference. These are the classes I use. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you want to take a little sneak peek, these are kind of like the gun I use if I can't get a kill, because it's a burst weapon and it kills in 1 to 2 bursts. I kind of gave you just like a look-see. Tac Forge, ultralight barrel, mini reflex, tac wrap stock, stipple grip tape, tactical foregrip. You guys can see. And like I said, I always swap out, you know, between tactical foregrip or the commando. So it's up to you. Actually, we'll put on the commando for my next match, but all right. Double time, point man, tune up, frag, stun. This gun, I just turned the AUG into an AR. It was fun to use against some kids that weren't very good. I would only suggest using this if you're playing kind of like a scrubbish team. But 6.22 long barrel, as you can see, adds a lot of perks: damage, bullet velocity, recoil control. ADS move speed is hurt, but using it as an AR doesn't really matter. Viper reflex sight, I like this sight a lot. If I'm not using the GI Mini, I'm using a Viper. Stock, I use the Forge, so it's ADS speed. That helps kind of counter this. Ammunition, 5.56 rounds, kind of make it turn into an AR. Feel like an AR when you shoot. Stipple grip tape, ADS, kind of like the counter, the AR that I've added to it. So, as you can see, increases accuracy, damage, and range. Only hurts the fire rate a little bit. So overall, pretty solid gun, and I love using it. But that is my classes. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. It's kind of situational, and the rules change all the time, and the MW just came out, so I'm sure by the time you watch this video, things could change. But if you ever just need tips and want advice, play to your playstyle. Don't play to what everyone uses. If you're running gun, run ADS-like things. If you're real patient and slow, run damage-like things. It's completely personal preference. Use what you want, have fun, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. As always, from you with Chance, I hope you guys stay happy. Hope you guys stay well. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.